welcome to a happy Monday with the last of this page kit. So we have been, if you haven't been around, but some of you as well, have been working with this, the 49 in Market Christmas Spectacular 2023 Ultimate Page Kit. This is a product that I really like the look of. This is actually the second one I bought, but the first one I used. I bought the autumn colored one as well, and now that I've done the Christmas one, I have ideas. But anyway, we have done 1, 2, 3, but we have this one. However, I started this exercise going pretty close to what was in the examples. I made little changes, like this one was really for a square photo, but I wanted a portrait photo, so I chopped this to kind of arrange things differently to make the frame into a rectangle. This one was pretty accurate to what was there in the original. I just added more title, but otherwise didn't change anything. I leveled up in twine. This one was a hot mess with the twine. It's frustrating viewing. It was even more frustrating to do it, I promise. So by this point, I had learned a little bit, and this one was a little more under control for this little swoopy of twine. And that's gonna fall apart. Great, this needed not just plain adhesive, it needs pop-ups. Whoa. Right, but we'll put plain adhesive on it for now, because let's get on with things. Okay. And then I went more off-piece with this one. So this was the third one I did, and I followed to make this embellishment grouping here with the poinsettias, the pine cone, this piece was kind of over here with this kind of scenario, poinsettia, here comes Santa, countdown. But then other than that, kind of did my own thing. This one was originally for a landscape, smaller photo that would fit inside this frame. Instead, I used the frame as a layer. So all of them, I've used the pieces that were there on the example, even if I changed up the design. Well, today, I'm changing it all. So I'm just going completely away from what the example is, as far as I'm aware. So the example is this one, which shows 4 photos. I've only got 1 picture. So from the beginning, I've got quite a big change around there. Yes. And I'm just going to pull out everything that's left. Now, some of you did some excellent detective work for me, because on the last page, I couldn't find this Christmas bells are ringing piece. And so I wondered if maybe by accident I used the wrong piece of sheet music when we did the layering over here, because there's a little bit of sheet music here. But I thought that was wrong because I remember checking that the chords were right. So I didn't think that I had, but I couldn't find it. And some of you did some looking back and found that it must just be hiding in my room somewhere, because that piece was there and I have not used it. So if it comes out in what I've got here, that will be hilarious. But I have a feeling it's hiding in a, like when it gets stuck to the back of another project or something like that. I bet that's happened. But I'm going to pull all this stuff out and we're just going to scrap away. Is it right here? It is! I found it straight away. It was stuck to the back of something else. It was stuck to the back of the letter stickers that I used for the one that I put a title on. Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll use it today. And I have the paper version of that chipboard frame here. Anything else that's fallen down here? Nope, I think that's everything. All right. So as I punch all this out, I'll do my speech. Oh, I don't have the other camera today again because it's Christmas. I've taken all the photo jobs. That camera is moving all over, and I just don't have the willpower to put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down. Photo job yesterday, photo job tonight. So today I'm just hands and no face. Right, things we've got a frame. So hello. My name is Shamel. I teach online scrapbooking classes, I design scrapbooking products, and I help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime I scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my hashtag advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live, chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, thinking about coming back to craft, craft only at Christmas, all of these things. Yeah. If you want to find helpful links, they're in the description box of the video. My website is shamel.com. That's where you find my classes. And there's links to the supplies that I use for these videos. And using a kit like this is an oddity for us. I just wanted to do something different for December because December scrapbooking is a little different than the rest of the year anyway. And I thought it was a good time to try one of these kits. But all the other months, it's a shopping list of all individual pieces. It's not a kit purchase. And you can find the one for January on the little link that's there in the description box so that you can join in with me for all of the live streams in January if you want. So you want to start your year doing some scrapbooking and you're a bit stuck about, ideas or what to do, you could grab that kit either from a shop online through that link or from your local store if you've got one, because if you do, please support them. Or you could search in your stash for similar items and make a kit that works pretty much the same. And the whole idea behind this concept called Best of Both Worlds is that you get the benefit of a kit club in that I'm going to show you how to use it and you've got somebody putting stuff together who has, a little bit of experience doing that and might put things together that you wouldn't think to put together. And then I feel like that was a piece I was looking for on another day. And so if you don't have a lot of confidence in picking stuff out, or you like the challenge of using what somebody else picks out, that sort of benefit of a kit club, you've got it. But you're not locked into a subscription. You don't have to buy it every month. You are in control of the budget and you don't have to buy anything you don't like or won't use and then work out how to get rid of it later. So for example, if you are a scrapbooker who does not like stamping and you subscribe to a kit club that has stamps, then you get stamps every month and you're paying for stamps every month and that's not your favorite thing and it's kind of a drag. So by having a shopping list instead of a flat out subscription, you are in control. So you can say, you know what, I'm not going to stamp. I'm not going to pay for stamps or ink because it's not my thing. And I totally appreciate that you know your style, you know what you like, and you're going to use what you buy if you buy the stuff you like. So that's it. And if you like a paper or a set of stickers or something, you're like, oh, I really like those, you can add 2. And it's easy. Plus, because it's a shopping list, you can add the stuff that you wanted that's outside that and not have to do like a double order or anything else. You just do it all in one go. Sorry, I haven't done a little explanation of Best of Both Worlds for a little while. So I thought while I punch stuff out was a good way to do that. Anybody seen anything they are loving? Sophia says, I like the idea of using all that is left for this layout. I believe it has an official term and it's called more. Yes, it is. It is. Anti-caffeine does not like stamps. It does not make you weird. That makes you aware of your creative style. Yes? I would much rather you go, you know what? I don't like to stamp and never buy stamps than for you to go, I don't like stamping, but I keep buying stamps because the craft world tells me I should like stamping. Don't do that. Don't do it. Buy the stuff you like. No stress in scrapbooking. Yeah. Recently, I've been doing some days where I have 2 live streams and I do one for Journal Your Christmas and then the normal YouTube one. Today was one of those days, so I got up and I did a live stream at 10 a.m. for Journal Your Christmas. The replay is available for those of you in the class if you want to go see me do my entries for 9, 10, and Plan 11. But anyway, I'm finding it really interesting because I don't normally do that kind of schedule. I wouldn't normally do 2 live streams a day. I love live streaming, but I also find it takes a lot of my my brain power sometimes, and therefore has this funny effect later where I kind of collapse mentally and physically, and have to just kind of be quiet for a little while. And so I do schedule them far enough apart that I can do both, but it's really quite a funny process of me then going, oh, okay, hold on. Now we got to ramp up again because we're going to do all this again. So funny. Okay, the chipboard I'm going to leave on here so it doesn't just kind of randomly stick, but I've got a fair amount of chipboard there. And we have this last sheet to punch out. So yes, they are giving you way more than what it shows just to make the 4 layouts. But you don't get an extra background sheet. So you'd either need to make your own mixed media background sheet, buy another sheet of the individual papers from 49 Market if you want to make it continue in this style, use the pieces with papers that are a different style, put it on plain paper. I think those are probably your options. Yeah? Right. Dun, dun, dun. Definitely more. Yes. Gita, have you just listened to what I said? Gita says, I didn't buy this month's kit because I have tons of supplies and I'm yet to use them. I hope you don't get upset. How can I get upset? The whole point of me being here is that I want you to use the stuff that you have. And that's why Best of Both Worlds comes with the option of just making a kit from your own stash. The only thing that would upset me is if you keep buying stuff and you never, ever try to make a page. I do find that a little bit, I did it again. It's the poinsettias. And that I would find a little bit upsetting. When I worked with a shop in person a lifetime ago, we would get newbies and they would come and no joke, they would drop 800, 1,000 pounds. And I would be like, can you just stop and go make something? And then come back and buy a little bit more? Because you're making me nervous that you've just, put a down payment on a car, a used car, but still. In terms of how much you just spent on paper crafting supplies and you haven't done any of it yet. So please go do some stuff with the first chunk of your purchase before all of the rest. I don't know. I just found it a little much. Okay, that's everything punched out. Now I've got a photo and I've got chipboard. Lizzie says, scrap the front and back of the layout. Now, on an ordinary day, even without all these layers, I would say you can do scrapping on the front and back of the layout if you want to, but it is 100% not my thing. I do not enjoy it. I'm not gonna do it. But trying to scrap front and back of a layout like this, you're kidding, right? How? Actually, there is a way how. The only way I can think you could do it is to build all of this off the page and then stick it down. But this is the one where you're going to have to follow instructions. And that's the side you're going to have to go off piece. Because otherwise you just end up with the same layout twice. I mean, you can do it. It's a brave idea. I'm not going to do it. I would not enjoy it. So I'm not going to do it. Yeah, I don't like working on both sides of the paper. Nope. I opt out. I say no. Okay, so I got this massive pile of stuff now. Great. What are we going to do? And I have one photo. Now, interestingly, so I chose this one to go off piece because 4 photos. I haven't done any Christmas things where I've got 4 separate pictures to use together. I've got lots of 1, 2s, and 3s. I got nothing with 4. And it was a layout with 4 squares. I haven't really taken things that perfectly crop down to a square. So I like how the example looks. I might borrow the composition for another day when I do have 4 square photos. But that day is not today. And in fact, I'm scrapping this photo that has perhaps less story than others I will have by the end of this December. But it's cute. And it's already in my Christmas journal in a teeny, tiny little print. But he liked it. I liked it. Let's put it in here. So the story here is that this is our corner pub. It's just on the corner of our road. And they've never really gone all out with the decorations before, but we also have an Ivy restaurant in our village, a little further down from the pub. And the Ivy does mega decorations. Like, they don't ever use the same decorations twice. And the Ivy at all of their locations will put up a display that people will like travel just to get a picture in front of the decorations, right? So the Ivy in our village has a giant polar bear and a Christmas jumper at their front door right now. And I think maybe that's part of the influence, but the pub decided to really go all in with decorations. It's not like the Ivy, but it is, they've clearly decided to make it all look pretty. So we'd been waiting for a day when there wasn't a whole like group of people in this window, because every time we passed it, we wanted to take a picture with the deer, but there'd be like somebody with a pint glass here in the window because it's a pub. I'm like, I don't want them to think that I'm taking their picture. Also, I don't particularly want them in my album. So one day we passed, and this is like 11:30 at night, and there was no one in the window. And WB was like, quick, now, take my picture. So this is post a work night, and he's coming home, and he's still smiling. Cracks me up. All right, what do we got? We got discussion in the comments. About working on both sides of the page. Auntie Caffeine says, what if you have two sides of the paper you love and only one of those pages? Then you have to scrap both sides. Nope. I do not. I have two options. Choose one. No, I have three options. Choose one, do a half and half composition with both, or buy another piece of paper. I will not scrap both sides. And Lizzie points out that creative memories taught us to scrap this way. Yeah. And do you know that I at one point went to some creative memories workshops and stuff, because when I moved over here, that was kind of one of the only scrapbook sources around. And just aside from the fact that, people couldn't figure out why I would scrapbook, that's a whole nother story. The very first thing they did was say, and then you work on both sides of the paper. And it wasn't even lovely, juicy, thick cardstock like this. If you've never used a CM page, they are card, not like thin paper, but they're not as thick as this. And the way their albums work, well, when they had, I think that they've made some changes to their albums. But back in the day, they had strap hinge albums, which would, basically it had these, they look like staples off the side, little metal clips, that you would run the strap of your album through. And then your page had like a metal piece. So like white paper with a metal frame sort of thing. And so the metal, I think it was metal. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it was there to make your page sturdier and kind of keep, like, obviously the metal is a little bit thicker than the page, so by the time you'd put your photos in a layer of pattern, or a layer of cardstock, not pattern paper back in the day, just, some color. By the time you'd done that, then the little metal strip was going to keep that space so they wouldn't collapse on each other. But you worked on both sides of the paper. And the very first crop I went to, they taught us two different layout styles, and they gave us one background and said, you're going to put these two things back to back. But they told us to bring photos for two different themes because they were different colored kits. And I said in the class, in my total naivety, I said, oh, but I brought photos that don't go in order. Like this one's 10 years ago and this one is last week. So I don't think I should put them back to back. And they were like, well, of course you do. I'm like, but then I can't move them around. And I just sat there really confused and looking around because everybody else was looking at me like I was the weird one, which in that instance I was, because I didn't understand this concept. And I just thought, but if I can move it around, then I can make it tell the story in the order I want to tell the story. And we're talking like, this is like 99, 2000. Okay. This is a long time ago. And the women all just looked at me and were like, why does that matter? And on one hand, yes, why does that matter? I don't know. But as I've gone on, I've been able to put that why it matters to me into more words and understanding, and now I get it. But oh goodness. So yeah, I don't scrapbook on both sides of the paper because I really like the ability to move stuff around. And also because because I don't enjoy it at a sensory level. I just don't like what it feels like. So I don't do it. I got plenty of paper. I just go get more paper out of the cupboard. It's fine. Right, so I'm not making a sketch or anything. I'm going to just sit here and stick stuff until I run out of places to stick stuff. This is interesting because the tree goes that way, but that looks like it fits that way so much better. So the tree is just not going to show because I like this way, but I keep changing where I want this. All right. Yeah, CM has come along and made changes. I haven't had any experience with them in recent years, but I know they have changed some of their models. Oh, Carrie, I know you're right with the use of that phrase, but if you ever go back and watch a documentary or read a story about what went on in that place, I can't use that phrase. I can't use the phrase. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh my goodness, I can't do it. Was it I don't know if it was, I guess it wasn't Panorama. Panorama tends to do stuff that's current. But there's a particularly good, if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into finding out about what went on in weird places and things that are not like our normal life, and you like kind of wonder, how did so many people get sucked into something that it became a thing? Not CM, I mean Jonestown and the Kool-Aid, where it comes from. Yeah, there's a BBC documentary about it that I just remember at one point watching it going, Shamel, you're not breathing. You need to breathe. You need to breathe. But yes, I totally know what you mean, Carrie. That at the time, especially around 99, 2000, there was a lot of, there were some different scrapbook companies all kind of saying there is one way to do this and this is the right way. And now we are a lot more relaxed and they're like, nope, you can stick paper to other paper in any manner you wish. So the difference here being, I'm not going to work on both sides of the paper. I am also not going to judge you if you do. I might giggle because I know I am not able to do it. I will appreciate that you can do that. It would break my brain. Oh, Carrie needs to know more about the documentary. I will try and find it for you and report back. Because I watch a lot of documentaries on stuff like this, and that one is particularly good. In fact, I just watched a series. This is not a BBC series. I watched on Netflix. Has anybody seen Wild Wild Country? Ooh. I find this interesting when you watch a documentary that's about something that happened in your lifetime, but you were unaware of it happening. So Wild Wild Country is about something that was happening in the early 80s. And I remember part of it, but without any context. And so that was really weird. Oh my goodness, Corey. Corey has a great aunt who was following Jim Jones and stopped right before they left for Guyana. Oh my goodness, what a near miss. I'm so happy that your family did not end up following that path. Yeah, it's a super scary story when you look at what happened, and the reason the Kool-Aid thing is really scary to me now is the threats that he made. They didn't all just like go, woohoo, we're gonna do it. Yeah. They didn't want to. A lot of them didn't want to, and there were scary threats. So anyway, I'm not going to bring us down into that anymore. But the Wild Wild Country thing, the thing that made that weird was, so it's happening in the early 80s, and one of the stories that kind of goes along with it in a tangent situation is this salmonella breakout that was on purpose, like somebody did it on purpose. And I remember the salmonella thing. I totally remember that as a kid, that this was big news, that there were salmonella outbreaks across the country. And I remember it just being across the country, as in it wasn't in my neighborhood. And so I know that part, and I remember living through that part, but I had no idea it was attached to like a cult kind of situation. I had no idea. All right, so that was fun. That one was on Netflix. These are the sorts of things that I listen to. I don't know what's wrong with me. I do, actually. I totally understand why I like listening through them. Just being that it's the shock of trying to figure out how and why did that start feeling normal to people when yeah, that's what it is. Because it scares me that you could be following along and be like, oh, this is totally normal. I can't believe we've gone from creative memories to cults. Stop. That's not what I mean. Oh, see, I started this live stream by saying saying that after a live stream, it's broken my brain and I have to just kind of sit in the quiet a little bit. Now, you know, true crime and things like cults. Yeah. Just trying to figure out, in what way does somebody suddenly go, oh, this is totally fine. I'm totally going to do this. And the thing that made Wild Wild Country really interesting is that some of the people they're interviewing were heavily involved in the group. And I'm not even meaning like just a little bit. I mean like the person who was kind of second in charge is there in the documentary. And they're saying all this stuff and I'm thinking, but surely this woman should be in prison. Like where are we going with this story that this woman is not in prison? But it all becomes clear in the end. Yeah, but I like listening to try and figure out the mystery of, given the same situation, would I fall for it? I don't know. Do I want to know? I don't know. Yeah, anyway. It's we all have sides to the things that we like. So on one hand, Disney movies. On the other hand, cults and true crime. Why not? Oh my. Right. This is this whole plan of just going through the pieces and sticking stuff together. Auntie Caffeine also listens to true crime while she scrapbooks and works. Corey says that all of this happened before she was alive, but the stories are still there in the rest of her family and they're intriguing. The only reason she didn't go is because she didn't have the money. So being a bit less broke, or a bit broke compared to the others, saved her life. There we go. Yeah. And Sophia reminds us that scrapbooking was also on Craft TV over here. We had some home shopping channels that are. Do we still have them? I have no idea. Just craft supplies, and that the presenters on that show would say, like, this is how you do it, and this is how I do it, but they were not that cool. And so that was also like a highly prescriptive method being shown to people. Oh, here. Anna's come along to change the subject and get me onto something more positive. Brilliant. Anna says, I found on my little scrapbook store a bunch of retired collections. She got 54 pieces of Field Trip, a bundle of Never Grow Up, and another bundle of Main Character Energy. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Amazing! We like that. But also, I like it when you buy other stuff. I like it when you use what you've already bought. Can I make it clear that all scrapping is good scrapping? Just be happy. You don't have to do it like me. I'm not like that. Oh, yay. I find it funny sometimes with Journal Your Christmas because people will share their entries and sometimes they'll make little comments. Oh, I'm covering up my staples. Make comments like, oh, I went off-piste. I didn't follow your instructions today or anything. And it's almost like they're apologizing. And I'm like, that is absolutely fine. I am proud of you. I am not in any way upset. It's all good. Right. What I'm finding, interestingly, is that I have not as much red as I thought, but I do have red in the chipboard embellishments, so I will get more red into this. Then I think this just needs to be a corner piece. So just take these pieces off so I don't have to worry about tucking them underneath. And it makes it easier for me to ink the inside in case it shows. I don't know if it will. Oh, is Tuesday Morning entirely gone now, or just their craft section and a lot of their stores? I don't know. Tuesday Morning used to get a lot of closeout items. So, and interestingly, sometimes they would get closeout items that didn't need to be closeout items. So there was a time when people were still trying to find these scissors, and people were sending me emails and calling scrapbook stores and saying, how do I find these scissors? And the entire inventory had been bought by Tuesday Morning. So you couldn't even order them. And I still had people like coming and saying, I want those scissors. I'm like, unless you got Tuesday Morning, I got nothing. AJ says Tuesday Morning completely collapsed in September. Yeah, that is a sad one. They've been around a long time because I remember, not for craft supplies, but I remember going to Tuesday Morning when I was a little kid. And I think there was one up Kansas City, folks. I think it might have been in Mission or possibly closer to the plaza than that. I'm not sure. But my memories of that area, they get really confused because both Mission, getting to Mission or getting all the way up toward the plaza involved a long drive on I-35. And so in my head, if it involves a long drive on I-35, it could be anywhere in that gap. And those of you who don't know that area, that is not like 2 streets from each other. That's like a whole suburb apart. But, you know, when you're a kid, these things are a little confusing. It's only when you start driving, right? That you're then like, oh, I get it now. Okay, I think I just put this middle leaf behind. So, layering with holly today. It's pretty. I'm glad I found this piece of paper. So how is this looking now? We're going to put this one. So I'm mostly sticking stuff to each other, not to the background yet. Like that. Rita says, check Ross, TJ Maxx, and Home Goods. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Oh, Elaine got started watching Alan and Barry on TV with Making Memory Supplies. And they taught you how to crop and mat photos. Alan and Barry. I haven't... Okay, are they... I know this sounds horrible. They've been off my radar for so long. Are they even alive? I mean, I don't know. Oh, when I Googled them, the third thing that comes up is sacked from television. Oh, they still have a website. They have a YouTube. Okay. Oh, they returned to Create and Craft in 2023. Oh, the things we're learning today. Oh, my. I might as well see if I can find that documentary while I'm here. There we go. It is, was it Carrie who wanted to know? It's called Storyville, the series, and then Jonestown. Yeah. Is it that one? I think it is because it's multiple episodes. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Oh, so it's not on the BBC website right now. I think it comes and goes. but I think it looks like it's on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it is that one. It looks right. Okay. Sorry, bring it back. I really want red around this photo. I'm gonna have to, I wonder if I've got any. Oh, the only 49er Market red I've ever had before I used as a whole background. So I know I don't have that one. Do I have a little bit of 49 Market in here on my shelf? Yes. What's on the 49 Market shelf? Not much. Oh, interestingly, a sheet of red cardstock. Yeah, just a map paper and another map paper. That's not what I want. However, let's have a look and see if this red cardstock that was coincidentally underneath it on that shelf was a message from past me that you will want red cardstock. Oh, come on. It doesn't want to go on the shelf. Right. It's that ombre cardstock, and I think it might just work. Oh, I think it needs to be like in the middle, though. Oh, maybe just at the top, and then the bottom's darker. Yeah. Okay. Auntie Caffeine says, is it just me, or has scrapbooking gotten infinitely more visually appealing over the past 10 years? I think what it is that, like fashion, different things come and go. So you'll like some more than others. So where you're thinking it's more visually appealing, there's probably another scrapbooker out there going, oh, why have they made it so overly complicated? I want it to look simple. And the truth is, if you know where to look, you've still got everything and can make either style and everything in between. I remember around the time that Prima became a popular scrapbooking brand, there was some real pushback from people. I do like that red. Okay. Where they were saying, you know, like, this is too much. And there was a specific style that was irking some people, where it would have a lot of stuff and one photo even smaller than this, and like a sentence of journaling and a one-word title. And they can be really fun to make like that. But people were like, hold on, what's happened to like this as memory keeping? And then there were these heated arguments, and maybe it's the tone that you read in when it's on the internet. But the idea that some people would think that it was like Prima were on a mission to say that everybody has to scrapbook like this, where I would never look at a brand and say that they're saying everything has to look like our examples. They're going to make the examples so that they are visually appealing with their product. And then, but the fun part is that you then can create a whole new aesthetic that's your style with their stuff. And as somebody who designs product, I love that. I absolutely love seeing what other people do with what I've designed, because some of it will be what I imagined and some of it won't, and I love both. And I wasn't on the product design side of this at the time, so I couldn't step in with this bit of knowledge. But there were these arguments that would show up in scrapbook places to say, you know, hey, you can't scrapbook like this and call it scrapbooking. And I'm like, oh my goodness, can we just relax a little bit and appreciate that there are different reasons to scrapbook, different ways to scrapbook, and that none of them are wrong and all of them are valid. And oh my goodness, and you never wanting to layer does not hurt me layering all the time. You wanting to use less is fine with me using more. We don't need to argue. This is not a problem. Yeah, I found it really, really weird. Okay, are we starting to look like we might want to stick some stuff down soon? I think we are. Not just yet. So So yeah, I just make stuff that you like, and that's all that you need to do. It really doesn't have to be any harder than that. Okay, this piece is going to come behind, but then some twigs are going to come on top here. Oh, they're so little and fiddly. That way we should be able to still see the sheet music. A little. Oh, I'm trying to stick that one down. Clearly there's no glue on that one. There we go. Then can I put twig on this side to balance it out? Yeah. Yeah. I know I'm just a bit simple in my beliefs like this, but please let there be room for everyone in every style. And when something is in fashion, for lack of a better word, that you like, go buy it up so that, you know, when you get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't actually like any of the collections out this time, you're okay. You got stuff to use because you already bought it. I mean, don't buy beyond your means. I'm also here for that. But you can totally save up a few favorites. Ah. Oh, yes, I forgot that part of it. Jen points out that the layouts that had all this stuff, when you would add up how much they cost, it would be like $50 layouts. Yeah, I couldn't afford that look either. You see what I like to do. I like to get a kit and then make it last through lots of different projects. So do I spend more than the average person on craft supplies, like the average non-crafter? Yes. But I'm within my means and I'm using what I buy. I think I'm all right. Yeah, I'm trying to find some sort of happy medium, I guess. Yes. No, I don't think I can put a square on anything. That's just going to look weird. So I might take that down to just being the bow. I have two of them, so I'm going to try. What if I take this down? So then the bow will just have the two. Yeah, that works. Oh, and Laura says, sometimes I've felt bullied and shamed for not journaling, but it's not me and it's not my way. Oh, okay. I hope you don't feel bullied and shamed around here. I have a high value on journaling, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to do it like me. It's just my, yeah. If I have a high value on something like that, it's for my own value, not showing that somebody else has to do it that way. I hope that makes sense. Yeah. What I will say, this is not a bullying thing, and I hope you'll agree this is not a bullying thing. I do think that if you want to journal and you find it challenging, that you can get better at it and it can get easier. That's fair enough, right? That's not a bullying kind of thing. I'm certainly not intending it as a bullying thing. So yeah, that you could, like, if you're sitting there going, oh, I wish I could journal, and it's just really complicated for you or really intimidating for you, anybody out there, not a specific you that is Laura, then I do think there are resources and steps to take to make it better for you so that you enjoy the process. Just like if you never know where to put the stuff on the page, you can get help with that. If you want to write and you don't know how to write, or you feel scared when you write, but you want to, then you can get better at that. No problem. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that if the joy does not come from the writing and you're quite happy to just be like, nope, that I opt out, then opt out. That's fine. It is all good. You can opt out whatever you want. Okay. Oh, I had forgotten about that. Sophia remembers The rude, snarky comments on Glitter Girl videos sometimes about all very well for her being able to use so much product all at once and it's paid for, blah, blah, blah. But we all have heaps. Yeah. I would say that I certainly, as I collected more stuff, I used it less sparingly. I adopted a policy of more. But I did always find it funny that my sparkly friend, a lot of people assumed, because it does work this way in some videos in the industry, a lot of people assumed that my sparkly friend was given certain supplies and told to use them, and that was the deal. And my sparkly friend was not. My sparkly friend had complete control, because this is a rule I have when I'm working. I don't like being told what to use. I don't work well under that sort of pressure. So I set my own rules and say, if you want my help, this is how I work. Otherwise, I'm not the girl for you. I feel like this is maturity and boundaries. Learning about yourself. Anyway, so when we pitched Glitter Girl, I said, the idea would be that I buy and use what I want to. The difference was that the difference being that I could see store inventory, so that I could then go in and be like, okay, so this item has been sitting on the shelf and that means nobody knows how to use it. And one of my favorite things is to be able to take something that everybody has overlooked and make you see it in a way that makes you go, oh, I do want to use that. That's like a real joy to me in sharing scrapbook stuff. So yeah, that was the difference. Was I bought all my own supplies. My sparkly friend was just paid, and then I would buy all of my own stuff to use. But I could see what was sitting around on the shelf or what had already flown off, so did not need anyone to illustrate it, because we had 2 left and it arrived on Tuesday. You're making me giggle. That Corinne says she hates her handwriting, and I've told her off for that, but it wasn't bullying. And Laura says, no, I didn't bully her about her journaling. Yay! Jen loves photography and takes photography classes. She has photos that don't have a story. It's just her practicing and playing, and those pages have minimal journaling. I think that's absolutely 100% fine. Oh, and Sophia loves that was the mindset behind it, because you're indeed very good at that, getting a slot to go, oh, that's what you can do with it, and then being completely enabled. Is that my true superpower? I didn't realize. I'm going to make you need the thing you didn't know you needed. Okay, more red. So let's bring poinsettias in, because they're red. And I only have one of these. I was stacking these up because I've got lots of duplicates here. Yeah, that was the deal. So, message board motivated, because I really wanted the community to keep its positive, constructive side. If you hung out at 2Ps, you might be aware that there was a part of the 2Ps, like community bit, the message boards and stuff, that was super helpful and positive and lovely, and then there was the part that was not. And I was just wanting to pull back to the happy and the scrappy, basically, before it devolved. I didn't want it to like crash and burn. And so I was like, how could we get people talking about scrapbook stuff? What if it wasn't like a thread where you said, what videos would you like? If it was more, there was always this subtext going that if you asked a relevant question that somebody could help you answer in the form of a video, your question might get more than just discussion on the message board. It might get an actual, half-hour video discussion where you could learn a little bit more. And And so that's where that came from. Yeah. And so it was a really, in terms of like how rewarding a craft job can be, that was quite a rewarding scenario, really. I did feel like my sparkly friend could actually, oh crumbs, help people get unstuck sometimes. And that I wanted to make sure that we didn't lose every crafter who had a bad day from our hobby. Like, that sort of thing makes me sad. I always want more scrappers, more scrappers. Yeah. Yeah. Aunt Caffeine, I'm with you on that. So people are suggesting if you don't like your handwriting, use a typewriter. And she says, but as soon as I involve a machine, then it's a step that I kind of put off and I don't really get it done. And I'm the same. Do I have a sewing machine in this very table? Yes. Do I have a silhouette right behind me? Yes. I have to think very specifically about using either of them because it just won't be the thing that I remember to do. There, that's where this is going. Okay, so then can this come up a little bit? Oh, not like that. Don't break it. These are so tiny and fiddly. I did the same thing here. It's the little laser cut stitches. I just broke them right off. Whoops. Okay, there we go. How are we doing for time? 2:30. Okay. Hello, Suki. This little postage stamp, can I go over here maybe? Sure. Oh. Our radiators, when they kick on lately, they make this whirring noise. And I keep thinking of that scene from Elf where the heater kicks on and Buddy calls his dad because he thinks there's a monster, crossed with the furnace scene from Home Alone where Kevin thinks there's a monster. Because when they first started making this whistling sound, WB was upstairs and we were downstairs, and he was like, "Mommy, there's a strange noise coming from your room. Is there a monster in there?" And I was like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it." And then I came upstairs and I'm like, "Oh, that's the whistling radiator. I don't know why it's whistling. Sorry." But you don't have to be afraid of it. But it does still make me jump every time it comes on and whistles. Right, some pine cones now, perhaps. Or is it all getting a bit much? Oh, maybe just in here. With the pine needles, there can be a pine cone. Okay, chipboard. Because we got lots of things happening here. Tuck this one in. Auntie Caffeine says, does WB call me mom or mum? Definitely mum. And I've said mum since I was not very old, well before I moved here. Yeah. Yep. He has an American friend at school who I think has to go back to America. He was here for 3 years for his dad's job. And I think they go back at the end of this school year. Oh, it's going to be sad because they're thick as thieves. And a really good friend. I'm going to miss their family too. I like them a lot. But anyway, it's going to need popped up there. Yeah, so the American friend, when he arrived here, was speaking a bit more American than he does now. So he's been here 2.5 years. And the things he comes out with now are very funny. And I remember when he first joined the class, anytime he would use American spelling, the kids would come out and be like, "So unfair! He doesn't get his spelling mistakes marked wrong because the teacher says it's okay for him to use American spelling since he has to go back to America when he's done here." Aww. I don't know if every teacher's had that rule for him. Right. Chipboard. Let's go for some red because there's not enough red in here for my liking. Sophia wants to know who am I and what have I done with the real Shamel, because I said, is it all getting a bit much? I did wonder if I would get caught out for saying that. Yes, I will. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not done yet. It was only specifically the holly. Is it getting too much holly and greenery? Chipboard up there. Let's have this little Hello December in black. But I'm still going to do the edges because they're white. Oh, chipboard needs more adhesive. Did I put more on the red one? Is it going to fall off? Okay. And then we've got it's the most wonderful time of the year. But yeah, the American friend, I think, may have started calling his mom, and I'm not sure what she thinks about that. Could be quite funny. But I have always been fine with it. Oh, maybe this goes on top of the poinsettias. Red, need red. What about this piece? Too much green here. Needs to be broken up with more red. Better. Done. Staple. Can it reach today? Yeah. Okay. What else have we got? We've got little red pieces here. Good cheer. Oh, and then I could do like two together. Auntie Caffeine says if she had a dedicated crafting room, she thinks she would use her silhouette once a week, but she just doesn't have the space. And it's from 2016 and only works with Windows 7. So it's not a picnic. Oh, bless. Yeah, when I do get into a good groove with my silhouette, I have about 6 mats. And I like just cutting 6 things and leaving them on the mat until I'm ready to use them. But the danger being that if you leave the wrong paper stuck to the mat for too long, then it's going to tear when you take it off. So it's a bit roulette-ish. Papercraft roulette. What's going to happen? Oh, Auntie Caffeine loves this layout, and she doesn't normally like traditional Christmas colors. Well, fabulous. I'm glad I could help. Shall we add these yellow stars? Were they on any of the layouts? No. No, they're just here. Let's put some yellow on it. Why not? Oh, it might be too big. Let's try the smaller ones. So maybe 3 of them, because more makes things work. So let's find a little triangle type scenario here. One up there. One over here. Where? Okay, so I have my diagonal. Where would I put that one? See, these are not on all of the layers. So I feel like this one should also not be on the layers. Maybe it needs to be. Maybe it goes here. Yeah? Do I back it with something so the center doesn't have all those layers in it? What could I back it with? Oh, a green star here. Oop. Yeah. Okay. Not a fan of the third star. I think they'll fall into place a little bit more with gold. They need more. And then they'll feel at home. Because, you know, I still got to do dots. I still got to do some gold. Oh, mat it with vellum. I started to say velvet. That would also look pretty. But vellum is a very good call. I was lazy and used what I could see. But vellum would be pretty, yeah. Hello, Christina. Yes, you can totally watch from the beginning. So today, if you came in late, this is the last layout from the 49 Market Kit, but I'm not looking at the example at all. I've gone from 4 photos in their example to 1 on mine. I am just taking all this stuff and piling it on and enjoying that as a process. Can I tuck this one behind the red and white? Sure can. Can I continue to pull stuff off my layout? Sure can. Oh, come on. Go. There. Right. Let's have some little green stars. To make this diagonal. Ah, Janet's Canadian, and in her family they used mom and mum interchangeably. And she said she had some American friends who were always confused by this. Well, and if you go to the north of England, you get places where their mum sounds a bit more like mom, because then you get to ma'am, which I can't do in my accent. WB can do a northern accent better than I can, but I can hear it in my head, and they do, and northern friends will spell it M-A-M. So there we go. Oh, Kelly's stamps are in the house, and she's going to use them in her entry today. We like the sound of that. And by we, I mean me, but I think, you know, some of you too. Right, let's have some dottiness. I had that green set the other day, and I put them back, so they are here. Oh, but you know what I need? Red. I put green stars. I need red dots. What do we have? I never buy enough red dots. I'm always like, no, I don't need so many. I do. I really need so many. So many. But I had these that I used the other day. Okay, so that middle color. It's too far apart. All right. I just want to stick to me, and then my nail varnish is red, so it's going to turn the layout red. Oh, is there no sticky on there? That's why. It's the second one on this sheet. I've done that. I've left the glue dot on the page. Okay, so we've got that. I don't think I'm going to put a separate title on it. I think that's okay. I am going to journal down here. It's pretty simple, so actually why don't I go ahead and do that and then put the gold over the top. Oh, what color did I do on the other pages? Because I was torn between should it be gray or brown. I did one of each. I like the brown better. Come here. Almost done. The star's slightly wrong place. Right, so this is just December 2023. Okay, where's the star gonna go? It's gonna go further up. There we go. Right, gold mist time. Hello, Debbie. Julie's in the Midlands and they use mom there. Yeah. Corey says she likes that this looks like a $50 layout, but we all know the reality. It's not really a $50 reality. So it does, I mean, because that's all paper and chipboard. Paper, chipboard, 6 enamel dots. So I suppose we would feel like a $50 layout had like a whole pack of stuff. And I tried to use as much as I could, but I still have a lot left over. And I have so many of these square chipboard frames. So I'm going to need to do like a grid layout with a whole bunch of chipboard squares. Oh. I must have started opening and then shook more. That's wrong. Here come our drops. Oh, very nearly threw half a bottle of gold mist over the whole thing. That would not have been the plan. I mean, I like gold, but I like it a little more controlled than that. Oh, goodness, what have I done? All right. How did I get here? Letting the days go by. That's not a Christmas song. Sometimes I do feel like that's my inner monologue when I'm doing a live stream. Every once in a while I'll have this moment of, how is this my life? How is this a job? How did any of this happen? This is not what I thought I would end up doing. I have 0 complaints, but goodness, I don't know how it happened. Okay, I've ended up with gold mist everywhere. Let's do the desk first and then the bottle. Sorry Sorry, Maleficent. Being extra messy. Okay, and then, sorry, I'm wasting so much. Oh, goodness. But we know if I don't take it off this bottle, there's gonna be a disaster. I'm gonna get it everywhere. Okay. Also, my hands are now cold. Okay, that is closed. My hand is gold. Great. All right. So let's have a look at what's left. So here's the layout all finished, aside from drying. Things I have left. So in terms of dimensional objects, I did not use any of these today because they are probably my least favorite part. And I still need to sew the buttons that are on the other pages. It doesn't mean I don't like them. I'm just saying, you gotta have favorites and not favorites, right? So I've got 3 leaves like that, 2 like this, 2 like this, 1 of those left, 2 bus tickets, 1 black frame, a little assortment of small pieces there, some arrows, some berries, a Santa, oh, and another Santa, a ribbon, die cut, there's a few more of these green stars hiding over here. And a pine cone. And then I have this much chipboard, a lot of frames. Yeah, because these are doubled. There's a small one and a bigger one. So I've got lots of chipboard to use. I don't see where I don't think these were included on the examples either. So they're kind of extra freebies. This I took off at the beginning and then used the paper version. So I have one of those left over too. And of course, you could use these examples as a 6x6 or possibly like cut them to make some sort of embellishment. I'm going to say it's possible, but I'm not going to do it. Is that right? Oh, there's where the yellow star is. It's behind a circle, a paper clip. Oh my goodness, that would be a mammoth stack. Because we've got chipboard, button, paper clip, plus all the paper die cuts. Yeah, I'm okay with skipping that. Right, so that's what I have left. So I could certainly make another page there, but I need background. I'm now out of backgroundy things. Yeah, but we'll see if maybe after Christmas, the grid pieces would be good for making like a Christmas wrap-up layout with like 9 photos from the Christmas celebrations or something. Maybe that sounds doable, but I'll have to put it with other stuff because I'll need some paper. Right, so there's the finished one, and the only thing I ended up adding in enamel dots and that bit of red cardstock to put behind my photo. That has been really fun. I have enjoyed the kit. I know that some people were like, "Why? This is not what you do. Why are you doing this?" But I really enjoyed it. And the other one I have, I'm not going to use today, obviously. The other one is this. That is just stuck to it from one of my sticker sheets. Great. And it's all autumn jewel tones. The Spice Ultimate Page Kit. Still some of those same clips. But I like the look of this twine infinitely better. This is not big honkin' twine. This is reasonable twine. So that's nice. Really pretty. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Thank you, Katie, for designing that. Don't worry, like all other times, I bought my own stuff. But I think Katie's design skills are pretty fabulous, and it's quite a cool way to make a product that they've come up with there. Thank you very, 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 very much. Auntie Caffeine says if I'm calling that a mammoth stack, I haven't seen her layout. I totally respect a mammoth stack. But I do also like to make a lot of layouts, so then my albums get very full. So it's just the paper clips that I had trouble with. I mean, I had a different kind of trouble with the twine, but I'm not too worried about the depth. But those paper clips are bit killer. So this is definitely the flattest of all of the layouts because I didn't put any paper clips on it. There we go. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this string of videos with this kit and you want to give it a thumbs up, that would be super duper awesome. And here's a heart for you, a gold heart today because my hands are now sparkly. And I do have some more live streams to go, but I'm just going to mix Christmas supplies and maybe non-Christmas supplies. I'm going to do a little mix of all sorts of new and old stuff. So I know I've pulled out some Love Elsie Christmas stuff that I'm hanging on to because I still like it. I'm going to mix that with some newer stuff. And then that's not the only old Christmas brand I've held on to. So we're going to do a few live streams of mixing old stuff and using what I bought a long time ago, along with what I've bought more recently. Cool, cool? Fabulous, fabulous. Have a great week, and I will see you on Friday morning, 10 o'clock. Thanks so much. Bye.